Hey guys, welcome to Breaking Feud. I decided to actually do a series once every month, just talking about movies in general. Kind of doing like a spoiler, like a talk type of thing for a movie. So it'll be once a month, and so that's pretty much it. And this will be called Movie Talk, essentially. And I'll pick a movie every month, once every month. And this is episode 1. So I really want to talk about an underrated movie that not a lot of people are talking about. It's actually overshadowed by the sequel. And honestly, I think people don't really talk about it as much. And I honestly prefer this movie over the sequel. It's the original Terminator, 1984. So yeah, let's get to the intro. So, like I said, the movie came out in 1984. It was actually a B movie type thing, like a low budget B movie type sci-fi movie, action movie, like kind of like what Bruce Willis is doing right now, with his newer films where they're just straight to DVD movies. But essentially, this movie was originally supposed to be that type. But yeah, it was successful, and honestly, the main reason it was successful was because of his storytelling, but then the way they told the story within film, like shown on camera, whatever they show on camera, the dialogues and everything, that aspect was so good. It was an amazing film, and I think if you actually look at Terminator 1, the Rotten Tomato scores, it's literally, not even joking, 100% on Rotten Tomato. But when you look at Terminator 2, Judgment Day, it's like 97% on Rotten Tomato, I guess. Which is weird because people talk about that movie a lot more than the original one. So yeah. Obviously, the Terminators that came out after Terminator 2 tried to rip off, including the TV show, tried to kind of make Terminator 2 into like a Terminator 1 thing, forgetting number 2 and just making Terminator 2 like the first film in a sense, because like, for example, Terminator 3, complete rip off of Terminator 2, Terminator Salvation. Well, obviously that it's a totally different film. It's literally talking about, it literally takes place in the war where Terminators and the human resistance are fighting. But then Terminator Genesis, a TV show, and obviously Dark Fate, instead of following the footsteps of the first one, they try to just copy the second movie. And I honestly think the first movie is amazing. And if you look at this movie and compare it to all the other Terminator films within the franchise, this is a completely, it feels out of place. Even if you include Terminator Salvation, this feels out of place. What I mean is, this is actually, in a sense, a horror movie than a action-packed movie that the sequel is well known for. And I kind of like this horror aspect. I think, I don't know, it feels less, I mean, yeah, it is a science fiction movie, but it feels less of a science fiction movie when you compare it to the other Terminator films, and it feels even less, it's like kind of a combination of horror and action. It's not an action movie like, Terminator or Die Hard, or Terminator 2 or Die Hard. And it's less of a sci-fi film than, Back to the Future, Terminator 2, and all the other Terminator franchise, Star Wars and whatnot. It feels more like a horror movie, and the way they present the Terminator, honestly love it. Obviously, I felt like when they showed the Terminator, and here I actually have, let me pull it out, the Terminator figure. I like this Terminator, and the reason I like it, it's not because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger is because of the first movie. The way they presented him as a villain, as something you cannot destroy, something unbeatable, someone who will never stop, an amazing thing, someone that can be in disguise. This is an amazing thing. The storytelling, and I think it's if you're a film major, I think it's if you're into cinema, if you like movies, sci-fi, and this and that, if you want to make your own films, I feel like you should study the first Terminator and see how it went well, and see why it went from being like a B movie type thing to an A movie type film, and how it became successful. Honestly, I grew up honestly with actually Terminator 2, but as I got older, I saw all the movies, including Dark Fate, all the terrible Terminator movies except for the TV shows. I seen a couple of episodes, but just looking at the first movie, amazing. And honestly, originally, of obviously, you know, a lot of people are a big fan when they were young, but I think this is underrated. Not a lot of people actually know about this film. One thing I like is how they established Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think here's the thing. And I don't want to be mean to you, Arnold. I think you're a nice guy. Just in acting, I don't think you're as good. I'm not saying you're terrible, but you're not as good as like your normal movie stars. But I honestly think this is one of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. About number one on the list. Overall, his second movie, and I think when they show less of the Terminator, but not just like less in a sense. Oh, you know, don't show a lot of. Oh, don't have a lot more scenes with the villains. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the way they present him, the way they wrote him, the way they shot his character, the way they put him in front of the camera. Honestly, I think it's amazing. And here's the thing: they had like, you gotta remember, you know, I think Tron came out and Blade Runner came out like 2 years before this. They were one of the biggest movie franchise, one of the biggest sci-fi movies of all, with heavy special effects and whatnot. You compare that to Terminator 2, which came out in 1984. We're working with low budget. On top of that, it was to the point that James Cameron had to spend all his money. It was to the point his mom gave him coupons to of like getting 2 Big Macs within a day. He would take one bite, save the rest for the rest of the week and whatnot. I'm so shocked that even with this low budget, even though they had, you can tell certain scenes didn't have like amazing special effects, the effects itself made the story of it amazing. And I think this comes to show you with the right with the right writing, the right acting, the way you shoot the film, and the low budget can still make it, like the way you shoot and the way you write the movie are the two most important factors of making a film. Here's the thing, I know certain people like who want to start a YouTube channel are like, oh my god, I have to have the best, camera, I have to have money to buy this, the best computer, the best camera, the best mic, this and that. And I always, people who I talk to who want to start a YouTube channel, who also know about films, I refer them to the OG Terminator film. Terrible special, I mean, not that great special effects if you compare it to like Star Wars and Blade Runner and Tron. Came out a couple years after those films. was a low budget film, and that movie has 100% Rotten Tomato, and that movie's amazing, um, compared to like Terminator 2, which has 97% Rotten Tomato. This movie's about, Sarah Connor, her son John Connor, uh, is the leader of the resistance. Find the Terminators. These Terminators are AI based things, and they're about to win the war. You know, and then I guess the machines realize they're about to lose, so they send a Terminator back in time to kill the mother. And so what John Connor did was they sent a character named Cal Reese, a soldier, back in time to protect John Connor from the Terminator. Obviously, that movie's well put together, amazing cinematography, the dialogues, the exchange, amazing. Yeah, amazing acting. I love the scene when Arnold's looking for guns and shoots the sales dude. Amazing scene. So yeah. Um, I will rate this, literally not even joking, 10 out of 10 stars. And this is one of the few movies that I think has a perfect score. I don't see much flaws within this movie as opposed to other films. I think it's one of those few movies with like little to no flaws. So yeah, um, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay tuned for more content. I'll be doing the series once a month. So yeah, thank you so much. As always, subscribe to this channel, give this a thumbs up, and as always, stay safe. Peace out.